Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Today, we're breaking down a concept that literally surrounds us every single day, yet we rarely stop to examine the actual mechanics of how it works. We're talking about the government. We're going to look at exactly how societies are organized and run.
You see a newspaper headline like, "Gov fixes price of onions, says no shortage in market." And you realize this isn't just some abstract idea happening in a distant Capitol building somewhere. It's real life. It impacts our everyday lives, right down to the cost of the food on our dinner tables. The government makes decisions and gets things done, whether that's building roads, tackling social issues, or just making sure essential everyday commodities like vegetables don't get wildly expensive.
So, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the functions and levels of government, followed by a quick pop quiz to test your memory. Then, we'll look at the types of government, and wrap it all up with a second quiz on types and suffrage. Keep your eyes peeled and your brains engaged.
Topic 1, what government does and the levels of government. Let's get right to it.
A government's primary job is to make decisions and enforce laws, but the sheer variety of tasks they handle, it's kind of staggering when you think about it. It ranges from local, everyday utilities, like supplying your water and electricity, to massive infrastructure projects, like building roads and schools or running the entire postal and railway services. On top of all that, it establishes laws to maintain peace and order and protects national boundaries so the whole society can function safely. It's a huge balancing act. But seriously, how does one single group manage all of that? Well, they don't work out of just one giant office. If you look at the 2011 administrative divisions of India, it's clear there's a strict division of labor. At the national level, the government deals with the entire map, like defending the country's outer borders. Meanwhile, state governments govern the affairs for their specific colored puzzle pieces, managing local needs in states like Haryana or Assam.
It all operates like a brilliantly structured three-tiered pyramid. Right at the base, you've got local self-government, looking after day-to-day community issues in specific villages or towns. Moving up to the middle, the state government manages broader regional needs. And sitting right at the very top is the central government, handling those big-picture subjects of national importance. It's an intentional division of responsibilities so nothing falls through the cracks.
All right, quiz 1, functions and levels. Let's see how much you absorbed. Let's do a rapid-fire recap. See if you can beat me to the answers. Question 1. What's the primary purpose of government? To make decisions. Question 2. How many levels of government are there in India? Exactly 3. Question 3. Which level handles state trade? You guessed it, the state level. Question 4. What is the scope of the central government? The entire nation. And question 5. Who builds local roads? That would be local self-government. Great job tracking all of that. Moving right along to topic 2, types of government and the suffrage movement. So, how do these governments actually get the power to make all these rules? Well, they don't all get it the exact same way. Take a democracy versus a monarchy. In a democracy, power comes directly from the people who elect their representatives. And the absolutely crucial feature here? Accountability. The government literally has to explain its actions and defend its decisions to the citizens. On the flip side, a monarchy is ruled by a king or queen on a hereditary basis. A monarch holds absolute power and does not need to explain their actions or justify their decisions to the people at all. Two completely different systems. Now, a true democracy relies heavily on universal adult franchise, which is a formal way of saying all adults have the right to vote. We call this suffrage, the right of citizens to vote in political elections. But what makes history so fascinating is that this right wasn't always just given out freely. It was incredibly hard fought. Just look at the massive momentum the suffrage movement gained during the First World War. Before that time, so many groups, especially women and the poor, were completely shut out of the democratic process. It took tireless, relentless campaigning. American women finally won the right to vote in 1920, and women in the UK followed up by securing their vote in 1928. It was a real game changer for equality. Ding, ding, ding. It is time for quiz 2, types and suffrage. Let's finish strong. Final 5 questions. Let's go. Question 1. What exactly is a monarchy? It's ruled by a king or queen. Question 2. What is suffrage? Simply put, the right to vote. Question 3. What year did U.S. women gain the vote? 1920. Question 4. And UK women? 1928. Finally, question 5. What is an essential feature of democracy? It is completely accountable to its citizens. Boom, crushed it. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a really provocative question directly from our sources. Should illiterate or poor people be denied the right to vote? You know, before India's independence, only a very small, wealthy minority was actually allowed to vote. Gandhiji strongly argued against this, stating that denying the poor the vote is just a direct form of discrimination. After all, voting enables people to choose their leaders, and it is certainly not a crime to be poor. So I leave you pondering this. Why does true equality in voting matter so much to the strength and justice of a society today? Thanks for joining me on this explainer.